Okay, on to initiatives. Now, before we can actually go create them, you need a little bit of background as to what they are. Now, an initiative can be either something that measures something and tracks it, or a project that organizes some actions that move a measurement. All right, but I combine them all into one. It makes them very usable and very interchangeable, and you only have to learn one set. They're very, very flexible. So ideally, we're measuring things in a way that motivates people. And then these initiatives, they organize the actions, tasks, and milestones and things. But that integrates exactly into that WMS system that you use in the Daymaster meeting. So if somebody has a project, then the task may have never been created in a Daymaster meeting. They've got a project, they've got literally, I've got I have some months have hundreds of projects in line. But it's very simple to keep track of them week in and week out as an individual, but then they show up on that WMS when they're late or when they're at ETBR3. And people, because of that and the public square effect, things get done. The combining the project with that WMS and making all of that work as one, it is amazing how well things get done when things are well organized. Okay, and you run that Daymaster meeting in such a way that the items on the WMS are talked about. They will get done. All right. So there's basically three types of initiatives. There are key performance indicators, which that measures things. It's a way of measuring success. And I've seen an organization that has 51 of them, and a lot of organizations end up with 5 or 7, something like that. Again, you have as few as possible, but no fewer than what you need. All right. Then a project, that's a way that ideally it's a plan to improve a KPI. It's got milestones and tasks and things along those lines. But there are projects are a little more involved than what we call a quick hit. A quick hit may be a mini project, but that's something that just gets done very quickly, doesn't need a lot of thinking and planning. Okay. So now, when you're working on an initiative, so those are the three types of initiatives. Now, initiatives have statuses that are very important. A status for an initiative, if the status is backlog, it goes on to the idea tab. That means you're working, you're figuring out if it's something you really want to do, and you're preparing it for success. Begun, that just means, okay, it's moving. We're on the roll now. We're starting to work on it. Then there's a status called critical. Critical is that most important thing. You remember in the focus plan, we decided what's most important right now. Well, that's how we do it. Okay, so there's only one thing gets marked as critical, and it's a project. If if improving a KPI is what's most important, and that happens all the time. We have to improve sales to this amount, but you don't do the task and the milestones on the KPI. You make a project, and you make that project the status of critical. So it's the most important thing, and you'll see it'll move right up there. It's very easy to find the critical item, that type of stuff. Okay. Completed. Yeah, you've guessed it. That means you've finished it. A lot of times, key performance indicators don't finish. All right. They go on and on and on until you decide to maybe stop tracking them. At that point, you can say they're completed. It usually applies to a project, but it can be anything. And then there's abandoned. Sometimes you start something and it's wise to know when to quit. That's very, very important. So that is those are the statuses. Now, initiatives have a 4-top goal system, but I want to handle that separately. All right. So those are some of the basics, and we will go over how it actually works. If you look at the initiative page, we'll go over this too in very much detail. It may look like a lot of information, but it works, and it's not that bad. All right. Thank you very much.